So here we are up the park in Brighton, and I'd like to introduce you to our head of merchandise.
Hi, well, my name is Noelia. I'm from Costa Rica and I'm part of the staff of the Skinhead Reunion, part of the crew of Subcults as well. So lovely to meet you.
And Noelia is the girl that runs our social media. You run our...
Yeah, I've been working with the Instagram page of the Skinhead Reunion. So every post, every video that you see on the page, I'm on charge of that basically.
And how long have you been a skinhead?
Since I was 13 years old, now I'm 25, so more than 10 years.
And why did you come to the Great Skinhead Reunion last year?
Well, to be honest, I saw a video in YouTube like in 2014. It was a Dr. Martin's video, so I was like, man, I must be there sometime. So here we are.
Yeah, so Noelia came over last year as a paid punter. Really, you came over as just to come and see the gig, didn't you? And then we had a nightmare with all the hotels and everything, and oh dear, it got double booked, and there was so much stress. It was crazy. Okay, yes. Sorry, that was the cafe just shouting at us then. Yeah, so Noelia came over as an attendee of the Great Skinhead Reunion, all the way from Costa Rica in where's it, South America or Central America?
It's in Central America.
Central America, which is amazing, isn't it? That we started this in 2011, and all these years later, people are coming from all over the planet for it, which is incredible, isn't it? Really.
Exactly.
So what I'd like to do is really talk about the actual event itself this year. So it's 2024. This is the 14th year we've been doing it. And this year we're going to have a little slightly different format than we normally do. Basically, we have the barbecue on the Thursday, which is standard. Everyone turns up. We have a little meet and greet. Everybody brings their own food and beer. We have a little drink up on the beach and a bit of food and a socialising gathering. Everybody gets to know each other and sets us ahead for the weekend. We shall probably be doing a DJ pub after that. I'm just waiting on confirmation of one of the various venues that I've been talking to about doing that, but something will happen. So Friday is normal standard thing with us. We basically start at noon with all our DJs spinning their vinyl. From that point on, you can come down. You need to bring your codes with you when you've bought your ticket and exchange that for your wristband. You'll get to the merchandise stall and you should probably see Noelia sitting there, and probably Sabrina, blonde girl, who's normally doing it as well. Anyone who's been regular will know Sabrina as well. Yoko also might be there. I'm not sure if she's doing Friday or Saturday, but she's Japanese girl. Again, very good worker on the merch stall. So this is the official stall, and please, I'm begging you that if you come and when you come, please, if you're going to buy merchandise and t-shirts and whatever, please buy them from us, because it's a massive part of financing the event. You've got to think about this. We have sort of 15 bands over a weekend. We have the insurances, the social media, sponsored ads, security response units, which cost us a fortune because of some problems we had a few years ago. The list of expenses is way up there, and anybody does their maths and looks at it against £20 a day tickets against all this is really, we're always on that line of break even, and the costs of the merchandising, just buying these t-shirts and getting them printed up. This is one of our merch, so I'm going to get this done again this year. It costs a lot of money, so we got to sell 3/4 of them before we even get to break even point, and I always go in with boxes and boxes of stuff. So, and then freeloaders come along and just sell off the side of the street with no expenses. All they're doing is just literally sitting there. So I'm asking you, as a skinhead and as a genuine part of our team, it's essential. And if you're not coming even, just go onto the subcults.com and buy a t-shirt, and that all helps. It might only be a £5 in it for us, but that £5 adds up, and it eventually gets to the point of paying one of the bands perhaps, or a couple of the DJs, or whatever it costs, So anyway, that's that over. So what we're doing, Friday, start at noon, DJs. 6 o'clock, it becomes fenced off, it then becomes live bands. We're headlining this year on Friday with the Hotknives. who are one of the best ska bands probably in the last 30 years within the UK. They were part of the third wave, what we called at that time, which was sort of late 80s, and they're from quite near Brighton, one of the towns surrounding Brighton, and I first got to know them in sort of whenever that was, 88, 87ish, something like that, and then we used to go to their gigs all the time in London, and they're a band that I've always wanted to play the Skinhead Reunion, but for various reasons they've been unable to do it up until now, mostly because the sound system, we've now got a really good sound system, so it means that bands can really project their sound as best as possible. So they're going to be the headline ska band for the Friday. And then they're followed by Menace, who anyone who knows punk should know Menace. They were the sort of founders of street punk. Their big hit was GLC, but they had a lot of other stuff as well. But back in the late 70s, before Oi and everything, Menace were one of the forerunners, the real skinhead bands of that period that we all loved. And then after that, we're going to have a reformation of a band called Criminal Damage, who again are a Brighton-based band. They were an Oi band back in the day in '82. They had they were part on a compilation called, and had a quite a big sort of iconic skinhead song called Criminal Crew. And they broke up quite early on because of, it was a time they were in and out of jail and whatever. So they've reformed this year to play. They've done one little warm-up gig the other day, which went down well, and then they're going to be unleashing themselves at the Great Skinhead Reunion on the Friday the 7th. Next in line is we're going to have Rankers. They're from sort of up north somewhere. I can't remember exactly where they're from, but they've played a couple of times before. They played once, that went down really, really well. They were called the Tokyo Rankers then. Then they came down to play during the lockdown period, but unfortunately we had a problem, and on the second day of the gig, they wouldn't allow us any live bands, so therefore they came all the way down and didn't get to play. So they're coming back, as I promised, to play for you. And then the last band on the first band coming on the Friday are a band called Lost Soul, who are from France, and again they're a band that asked me a couple of years ago to play. They're a new band. I don't know much about them. It's a female fronted act, and they're sort of quite sort of punky, modern, sort of street punky type of sound, but they're a bit of a surprise. They're going to be a little bit of a surprise, that one. See what we get out of that. So Saturday, which is the main day, where we're going to be having a little bit of a change. Now what we've got on Saturday is the headline act is, well, we've got two double headline really on Saturday. We've got the Last Resort, who are the biggest Oi band in the history of Oi. They really were the one. They had an album called Skinhead Anthems, released in about '82, and at the time they were like the icons. There was them and the Foreskins, Blitz, Cockney Rejects, but the Last Resort were the one that really did. They nailed it worldwide, with songs like Violence in Our Minds and Resort Boot Boys and things like that, and they were massive. They've been going sort of on and off ever since, and they're going to be coming down, and it's a home game for them because they're a South London based band, and we are south of London, not very far from it, so that this is their territory really. So they're going to be the headliner. Back with massive popular demand are the legends that created skinhead reggae, who are Symarip. They go by the name of Pyramids Symarip nowadays, because they were originally Pyramids, then they became Symarip when they swapped the name round, and they released Skinhead Moonstomp album, and they're going to be coming back and playing for us, and everybody loves them. This is about the third time I think they've played. They're our home band really now. They reformed because of the reunion a few years ago with Monty, Frank and Mick. And they really are the best you're ever going to hear. If you like ska, skinhead reggae, Trojan music, this is the real deal. All those cover bands, all that stuff you've seen, this is the band. This is the band that inspired Two Tone, that made the second wave of skinheads that I come from, that 78, 79 period, that put us on at the world map, which is still to this day worldwide. They really are the icons. So they're going to be playing. And then we always do a sort of mix of genres, so we go punk ska type of thing. So but next down from them, we got Tear Up. They're a youngish band now. They were young, but they're now youngish. Jamie, the singer, he's a very fiery sort of young lad. I first met him probably 10 years ago or something stupid now. And I liked him because I liked his attitude, and he had that real sort of like oi attitude. And we at Subcults put out their album Playground Politics, which was their first incarnation. And since then they've really progressed. They've got a second album out now called You Can Lock the Locks But You Can't Stop the Clocks. It's all about being in jail and stuff like that. So Jamie's back with his Larryness. And then we've got Arthur Kitchener, and Arthur Kitchener, again, another legend. He was one of the original mods of the 60s, and had a mod band back then. Then into the 70s, continued playing. He likes his ska and his soul and all that type of stuff. But when Oi came along, he actually was a member of The Last Resort and wrote a lot of those songs. Warrior, King of the Jungle, those songs were his songs. I don't know why, but he left sort of The Last Resort at some point and then carried on doing his ska stuff as Arthur K and the originals, Arthur Kitchener. He's had lots of different names, but his real name is Arthur Kitchener, he's playing under. So he's going to be doing an acoustic set, but with questions and answers. So he's going to talk about his lifetime as a skinhead. I'll probably be sitting talking to him and asking him some questions. So if you've got any, let us know, and we can put that to Arthur. And you never know, he might get up and do a song with the Resort. That'd be a nice reunion, wouldn't it, getting those two together, because they're playing the same day and they're still friends. So that might be a good one for your history memories. And then we've got a brilliant band coming over from Japan. They're called 69 Yobsters, and they do a really brilliant reggae ska set. It's their original material. Very, very talented. Put on a brilliant show, because they're not only musicians, they put on a theatrical sort of comical show as they do it, and absolutely went down a storm. They played about 4 years ago with us, and they were fantastic. So they've again come back under popular demand. And what we're going to do this year, which is a slightly different to what we normally do, we normally keep all the bands in one venue, but because some people don't really like the punk and the oi, it's a little bit too abrasive for them, and as we've got older, we've all chilled out a bit. So what we're doing is we've got two venues this year. So when the punk band comes on, when Tear Up come on, we are then going to transfer the ska sound over to the other venue, which is called Dalton's. We're going to be directly over the road on the beach. It's where the original mods and rockers had their fights, down on the beach. It's literally 3-minute walk, and that is a literal, not my 3 minutes, that is 3 minutes. We're going to have DJs running there, and we're going to have a band called Section 8, who are brilliant. They're a really, really good female fronted band. They played last year on our Sunday, they're coming back now for the Saturday, and they're going to be the main band in there. So if you want your ska and soul and that, just go across there, you'll really enjoy it. We'll be running DJs in there afterwards up until sort of 2 a.m. So you got the best of everything at this event. So there's none of this. Oh, I don't like that type of music. I don't like. It's all there. You can walk over. You don't even have to look at a punk band if you don't like a punk band, and you don't have to look at a ska band if you don't want to like ska band. I know there's this stupid bullshit divide between what's wrong and what's right. I was a skinhead right from day one through the whole lot from '78. So believe me, this is music I like and I've chosen myself and highly recommended. All very, very good stuff. So that's going to be your Saturday lineup. And then on Sunday, we're going to do a bit of a Sunday subculture chill. We've got a brilliant band coming. The first time they played, another up and coming band, but again writing their own material with the ska sort of sound, and they're called New Tonic. And they're going to be joining us on the Sunday, and that's going to be their set. And with we're going to have a full ska reggae DJ sets all day, so you're going to have lots of laughing and dancing and chilling and enjoying yourself for Sunday. And that's going to be the Great Skinhead Reunion. So get yourself a ticket. There's really only a few left. I think there's about 8 left now for the main capacity venue, but because we've got 2, it means on a Saturday we can up our capacity, and so you got the 2. So really, I'd get your tickets right now. I mean, you can. It's up to you if you want to risk it for the day, but I personally would say if you're coming, you're making the effort to come down to Brighton, get your ticket in advance, and then you've got no problems when you get there. You just arrive, get your wristband on, and just enjoy your day. You'll meet people from literally all over the planet. Noelia's come from Central America. We got people from South America. We got a lot from Germany. We got Americans. We've got South Americans, Scandinavians. French, you name it. They've come from every Switzerland. I can reel off countries, but people are coming from all over the world for it, and all over the UK, Scotland, Ireland. People come from everywhere. So come, you're all welcome, and you don't need to, you don't need to be a skinhead as such. If you were a skinhead back in the day, or if you just like the music, just come along. If you're part of the punk scene, if you're interested, even if you're just fascinated by our subculture, you're welcome to come along and get involved and enjoy yourself and learn a bit of subculture history on your way, because everyone's got a million stories to tell. If you speak to 10 skinheads, you'll get 50 different stories about the same event, but that's the way it goes. So anyway, be lucky and come and say hello to us when you get there, and see ya on barbecue on the 6th of June. The event starts for full on the 7th, 8th, 9th of June on Madeira Drive. So get down to Brighton, look at the pier, turn left, and you'll see a load of bald heads and pretty girls like Noelia, and get involved, and we'll see you there. Subcults, subcultz.com for your tickets. Be lucky.